Hi everybody, welcome back to Freaking Jeep. I'm Tiny, of course. Today we're going to fix some headlights. We're going to restore some headlights, and we're not going to use one of those off-the-shelf kits for $25 where you gotta rub and rub and rub and rub and rub and rub, and they look good. They look like brand new for, I don't know, a couple months, unless you got some driving a lot of rain or some bad winter weather like we get around here in Wisconsin. Then they might not even last that long. I know I've used them. I've had customers at the shop bring us kits and ask us to do them, and they're happy when they leave, and 2 months later, hey, they come back and complain that, hey, I can't see anything out. My headlights are all foggy again. What, you did it all wrong. That's the nature of the kits. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some wet dry sandpaper, canister or a pail of warm water. We're just going to do some light sanding, get rid of that oxidation, rough up the surface so the paint sticks, and then we'll use some clear UV resistant paint and put a coat of paint on them. They'll look like brand new. Your neighbors won't be able to tell the difference when it's sitting in the driveway. Or people passing you, people at work, whoever eyes up the Jeep, they'll swear you got new headlights, and that's what I like. So come on, let's have a little fun. Use a little elbow grease. The whole job takes about 10 minutes a headlight. If you're doing both headlights together, maybe 15. I'm doing one at a time, just for you guys. So come along, let's get it done. Gonna start off here by taking the headlight out. As you can see, they're pretty shabby looking right now. I'm going to take all the lights out, the signal lights, parking lights, headlights. You can see, not very neat looking, but we'll fix that. As you can see, I'm got it here. Just a little bucket of warm water. I'm using I don't know, 1,000 grit sandpaper or something. Just gonna lightly sand this. We're just trying to get the oxidation off of this. The oxidation is what makes them look really foggy. So I know they make those kits out there. Use your drill and some magic compound, and when you're done, it looks like brand new for, I don't know, 3 months or so, if you're lucky. And then it's right back to being foggy and you can't see nothing. And it doesn't really take that long. You can see how foggy it's getting already, but that's because we're removing all that oxidation, all that stuff that the sun has dried out. That's what happens when they turn color. The Clearcoat they got on, now these are some cheap eBay headlights, but the Clearcoat's dried out from the sun, and once the Clearcoat flakes off, then the sun starts drying out the plastic. And then as the plastic dries out, it gets real cloudy looking. And then the surface of it gets real rough. And then while it's rough, you get all kinds of contaminants in there. Everybody's got their own way. I've heard everybody, you know, go from anywhere from starting out with a 1200 grit and working your way up to a 5000 grit. You can do that if you're looking to build a show truck or something. Yeah, show car. This is an old farm Jeep that my son's driving. Some of you are going, well, that looks like too much work. It really ain't that much work. I removed the headlight just because it's easier to sand that way. I like to handle it with my hands. Use lots of water. You can see, other than a little, it's not shiny anymore, but that's because I sanded it. But you can see most of the oxidation is gone now. They're pretty clear already. And that's with, like, you know, just a couple minutes of sanding. I'm going to use just a spray can of some UV resistant Clearcoat I got off of the internet, Amazon. It's a name brand paint. You can hear the traffic in the background. It's one of our first real nice days out. I can actually get this accomplished. But this is really you can see I get gravel under my feet. This is a real driveway fix here. Anybody can do it. Just a little bit of elbow grease. Make sure you hit all the make sure you hit all the surfaces here. The sanding also helps remove any contaminants that might be embedded in the plastic. There we go. It's I'm gonna go get a towel and we'll wipe it down. We'll give it a coat of paint. You can see I got it all dried off now, and might look a little hazy in there. It does in real life too, but that's just because we sanded it. We made the whole surface rust, and that'll help this clear coat stick to it. We'll mist over some light coats first. We'll let that tack up first, and you can already see they're starting to get shiny. And all that is with the dusting. That ain't even a nice clear coat. But I got some dusted on there. We'll let it dry, and then we'll put a little heavier coat on. Yeah, they'll look like brand new then. Alright, you can see a few minutes have gone by. Here for me anyway, for you guys it was just a matter of a few seconds. But it's tacked up now. We'll put a little heavier coat on it. Don't want to put it on too thick, otherwise it'll run. But I put a thick enough coat on. It's nice and glossy now. You can see in the video it's pretty shiny. Up front I can see a little bit of orange peel on there. If I was really concerned, I would get some 5000, maybe wet sand it, and then buff it with a nice buffing compound. I might just do another light coat on it. That'll probably help it lay out a little smoother. But yeah, stand by, we'll put it back in. While we're waiting for them headlights to dry, we'll take a few minutes to talk about this headlight care. Not much you can really do other than wax your headlights, you know, try to prevent some of that weathering, you know, taking hold of your headlights. Not much other than that. Sure, you can go out and buy brand new headlights. It's probably going to be a lot faster time wise. I mean, unless you count in waiting a week or two for the headlights. This, I just pulled the headlight out. I got some sandpaper from the hardware store and some Clearcoat, UV resistant Clearcoat. I think cost me like $7 for a can, and actually this can will probably do about a dozen headlights. So yeah, it's pretty economical. If you figure it out, it probably comes out to $1 a headlight, maybe, what you got spent. And it literally, it took me 5 minutes to sand it, and it took me a couple of seconds to put a coat of paint on and let it dry for a couple minutes. I went and did some other things looking at the Jeep and some basic, you know, preventative maintenance. And then I came back and put a little heavier coat of clear. I'll put one more coat of clear on here in a couple minutes, and then we'll put the headlight back in. So yeah, you know, it's not that difficult. Any amateur can do it in the driveway. My daughter probably could have done it too. All she would need was a little guidance. So yeah. But we're also upgrading, putting some new headlight bulbs in here. My son does a lot of early morning driving through some country area. You need some bright headlights to see them damn deer. So yeah, if you got any questions about what I used or anything, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll try to get back to you. Maybe if I get time, I'll put the clear coat in that I used in the description. You know, doing it this way, probably I would say 2 or 3 years again out of it before you might have to sand them and do them again, or at that time replace them. And by then, who knows, you might be on your next vehicle or your next Jeep. If you're like a lot of us in the group, you know, life is just a series of Jeeps. You just go from one to the next. So yeah, we'll get ready to put this headlight in. There, look at that. That's a nice looking headlight. You know that? just going to be careful. It's still got a little bit of tackiness. It's not warm out today. It's not ideal, but it's got to get put back together. So just be a little more careful. Now is a good time to replace any of your bulbs here that might be bad. You guys remember what the headlight looked like in the beginning. Now look at how shiny it is. Not bad for 10 minutes worth of work. Now I'll get ready to do the other side. You can see this side here isn't quite as bad. Remember what I was talking about? That clear coat they put on it, flaking? That's what this thing has got. You can see these lines here. That's that clear coat. I rub it and it comes off, it's flaking off. So this one will probably take a little more sanding. Get that all smoothed out. The other one was just yellow. So yeah, we're gonna get to it here. Headlights out. You guys see here, my same water bucket. Just gonna do some sanding. just have Monkey standing in the background here looking at me. I think she wants to see how it's done too. She went to go get some shoes on. And that would have been the guard dog. A lot of people say, hey, be careful when you're sanding them. I agree, be careful. But I'm using 1000 grit sandpaper. You gotta sand pretty hard. Just make sure you don't have sand built up, dirt. I'm scrubbing kind of hard because I had those lines in here. Don't be afraid to scrub on it pretty hard. You're not going to sand through the plastic, so. And if you're worried about leaving sanding marks after you scrub it, well, you can always afterwards do a nice circular motion to eliminate some of those. But like I said, I'm using 1000 grit, so the Clearcoat to fill that in pretty easy. Do you want to try it?
Sure. Which side?
Look at it, we even got Monkey coming out here. So easy, a 13-year-old can do it. Just want to hit the whole, when you're scrubbing, you gotta hit the whole headlight. You can feel here where the old stuff was. Add a little water. Let's see if I got another piece of paper for you. Yeah, brand new piece of paper. That one's pretty worn. You can feel the difference. Just get it wet. Now, a little harder to hang on to when you do that. Hang on to it like this and just bend. Try to keep a flat hand. See, I like to hold on to the corner. Ideal would be to use a sanding block, but we don't have sanding block. New piece of sandpaper works a lot better. I just want to get that ripple out of there.
There's a ripple over here too.
Yeah, there's a imperfection. That looks like a stone chip. But now that we got a new piece of sandpaper, use a nice circular motion on it. You know why we use a circular motion?
Nope.
Keeps all the sanding lines going in different directions. Makes it a lot harder to see them. Bottom part's got Clearcoat on it yet, so ain't so bad. Make sure this headlight's got a line through here. Make sure you rub that. I'll get all the contaminants out of there. And rough it up so the paint sticks. Then make sure you hit around the edges here too, because your paint's going to wrap around there. You don't want it to lift up on the edges instead, then start flaking off. This headlight came off of, these headlights came off of flat Jeep, so the edges of this has still got a little film of oil on. While we're talking about oil, you don't want to use any brake cleaner or carb cleaner on there. That'll melt the headlights. You'll be going backwards instead of forward with your intentions on that. A little bit of sanding here, that'll take that all off too, all the contaminants. I'm gonna call that good enough. If you do have some contaminants left on your headlights when you're done and you're worried about it, go ahead and wash them with some dish soap. And a scrub brush, whatever. Sponge. Now you can see they're all hazed up. I just use a terry cloth towel to dry it off. Get the water off. Make sure it's drying out. Now, same thing as what we did with the other one. Just a light coat. We'll give that a couple minutes to tack up. Then we'll put another coat on it. This method would work too. You know, if you go to eBay, or if you go to Amazon or your favorite spot, you can buy these headlights for like 80 bucks for the pair. And in fact, I think that's what we paid for these a couple years ago after I hit a deer. It doesn't take long for the clear coat on these. You could in all actuality, in good sense, you could take your brand new headlights, take piece of 1000 grit or 2000 grit paper just to rough up the surface a little bit. Put a couple of coats of this UV resistant Clearcoat on. Sure would make them last a whole lot longer. So either you do it right away when you put them in, or a couple years down the road. Or if you're just handy like me, you could take your old pair that you got on your Jeep now, sand them down like we're doing here. I've done it with headlights that were completely yellow. In fact, I did that on one of my cars. I got a set of headlights. The guy was going to throw them out. I had a broken headlight. I think I paid the guy 20 bucks for the headlights. And it took me a little longer. In fact, that piece of sandpaper that we used on the first headlight was left over from doing those headlights yet. So I did 3 headlights with that one sandpaper. Actually, I did 4 headlights, because I did that one on flat Jeep too. So yeah, I got 4 headlights out of a piece of wet, dry 1000 grit sandpaper. And those other 2 headlights were in pretty rough shape. But we sanded them down, took our time, put a couple coats of Clearcoat on. They still look like brand new. I'd show you about the cars in storage. Packed up. Doesn't take long. That's why we do thin coats. Now you see me rotate. I'm trying to get the headlight lay as flat as possible. That way I can put the coat on. I can put a little thicker coats on without it running. Piece of hair. In the video, up here in the headlight, right along in here, you can see that haze. It looks like it's on the outside. It's actually on the inside of the headlight. It must have got a little water in it. And I used warm water. The other headlight's installed. You can see how shiny it is. I'm standing in front of it. Looks pretty nice with that black background headlight in there. Black Jeep. Job done. See, now that wasn't so bad. We took some foggy old headlights, look, that were destined for the garbage can, and we shined them up, made them look like new. I've got about between making this video, doing some other maintenance, doing the sanding and the painting, I've got about a half hour into this, maybe 40 minutes. I took the headlights out. You could do them with the headlights in the vehicle. I just find it a lot easier to sand and paint without having to mask off everything. So yeah, if you got the time, you got a driveway, a little bit of elbow grease, it's all done. So thanks for watching. If you like the video, right? Oh look, here's the monkey. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I think that's in this corner.
This way.
Over here?
Pretty much right down in the middle of the camera. So.
Right below. And if we did a good job, make sure you hit the like button and leave us a comment if you got any questions. Like I said, hit us up. We'll try to answer your questions the best as possible. See you later.